What's up, everybody? You're watching B-Boy 45, the hospital's TV and radio station. It is early on a Thursday morning, and we typically don't get to see our friend Maya this early on a Thursday morning, but this is special, and I'm glad, Maya, you're with us. Maya, you are with us, right? You're here? Oh, say that again. Say that again.
Hi.
Oh, hello. All right. Maya, you're here. That's awesome. Why is today awesome and special?
Because Roman Banks is calling in.
Because we got Roman Banks with us today. That is awesome. Roman Banks, welcome. Maya, take it away.
Okay, so first of all, thank you so much for calling in. I've been so excited to talk to you.
Thank you. Yeah, no, this is so much fun already. I'm really happy to be here talking with you, and thank you for being so gracious with my schedule and everything.
Yeah. I'm just happy we figured out another time.
Yeah, me too.
So my first question for you is, who or what inspired you to get into acting?
That's a great first question. I love telling this story. So I watched this movie when I was a child. I think I was 13. It's called I Am Legend. And it's, if you don't know, it's a story about Will Smith. It's a story about a virus, actually, that kind of erases life as we know it. And it's specifically centered in like a post-apocalyptic New York City with Will Smith and a dog. It's like a German Shepherd. And so that movie inspired me to want to become an actor and to get a German Shepherd, which I can say are both true now because my family just got 2 German Shepherds and they're gorgeous. But I just thought it was mesmerizing how essentially a dog and a man could carry an entire movie and still keep me interested and still keep me so focused on the story and what's going on. And so I was like, wow, if one person and a dog could carry a movie like that and just keep me interested in the story, I would love to like try something like that on my own. And that's really how I started. And I got into high school theater and I just kept working hard, and I was able to get into musical theater. And then from that point, I got to do a lot of extracurricular stuff outside of school, went to college, and then I was blessed with the opportunity to be on Broadway in one of my favorite shows. So it's been a great journey.
Cool. Yeah, I actually have a question for you about Broadway in a minute. But what is there a singer or band that's had the biggest influence on your musical style?
For sure. It used to be Justin Timberlake. I used to really love Justin Timberlake, but I think now Bruno Mars has really defined a lot of how I want to make music. I think Bruno Mars, especially with his last album, has really centered on making music such a wholesome experience rather than just like a song. I really feel like when I'm listening to Bruno Mars, like I feel his energy through his songs, and they can always lift me up and make me feel better. And he has this way of making such timeless music where I feel like even if I went back 30, 40 years and played his songs at a party, that people would still be enjoying and dancing to everything. And I feel like that's the ultimate goal as a musician, to make something that will always feel appropriate and always feel refined and always feel fresh, even if it's, past its trending time. And so I love that, and I love that he had the confidence to take that chance after really coming up in such a separate musical style. And I just love how like undefinable I feel like he is as a musician. I feel like he can do anything, and that's so inspiring to me. So that's definitely the type of artist I want to be, and I hope I can, make it to that rank, that space.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
So you were in one of my favorite Broadway musicals, Dear
Oh,
Evan.
no way.
Um, yeah, and so yeah, that is one of my favorite musicals. I have the music on all the time.
I love that. Did you get to see it?
No, I didn't. My whole family wanted to see it, but we couldn't get there. So
Ah, well, we the music. I mean, the movie's now coming out, and I hopefully you'll get to see it because it is coming back on the road and on Broadway.
oh, cool.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm so excited to see the movie. Um, and I was wondering what it's like to be part of, what was it like to be part of such a groundbreaking show?
Yeah, wow. I mean, like we're the same. We were both fans of the show. I was a huge fan of the show, a huge fan of Ben Platt. And Evan Hansen was a huge dream role of mine, and so I truly was just a fan in the building. And yeah, I mean, I just had the most fantastic. I mean, that was my dream. Broadway was my dream. You know, being on Broadway was my dream. I got to make history in the role, and I got to meet so many people I looked up to for so long. And I mean, I was just on cloud nine. And to get to tell that story about mental health and to get to speak on mental health, and the show is really involved with advocacy for mental health, and so to become a sort of advocate for that and learn more about it, and also take that knowledge back to my loved ones and into my relationships. It's really done a lot for me as an artist. I feel like it was the most challenging thing I've ever done to date, and it was also challenging for me personally, and I had to look at how I was dealing with my own emotions, and how I was processing them, and if I was making healthy space for them. And I feel like I've been able to help others because of what I learned in that show. So yeah, it was really just a great experience, a great learning experience more than anything. Not even just about what I love to do, but just about life in general. And also, it just definitely helped to go to work every day and know that the work that you're doing could really help change someone's life or help them look at life in a different way, whether that's for the rest of their life or whether that's for 2 hours and 45 minutes. So I really loved the fact that, you know, there was an importance to what I was doing every day.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So, do you have a favorite song from the musical?
I do. I want to hear yours too, but my favorite is For Forever. That's always been my favorite. What about you?
Cool. I love Waving Through a Window and If I Could Tell Her.
Very pretty songs. Very pretty songs. Yeah, I love Waving as well. Yeah, I think that's everyone's like, I can't wait to hear that song when they go, and it's definitely super exciting to watch. So, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm like counting down the days until the movie comes out.
Yeah, I mean, it is soon, so I hope you get to watch it, and I hope you enjoy it.
Thank you. Yeah, my whole family is so excited to see it. So,
I love your Broadway sticker in the back.
oh, thank you.
You're
My
welcome.
mom actually got that for me for my birthday.
Oh, that's so cute.
Yeah, and then I was hanging it up and I accidentally dropped it, and my sister went, "You shut down Broadway."
Not that. I hope you weren't the kids. That would be terrible.
Yeah, I just like jokingly said, "That's the meanest thing you've ever said to me."
I know, it's way too much guilt to hold. Way too much.
Yeah. Yeah, I always I've always, since Dear Evan Hansen came out, I've always loved it. And then over quarantine, I started listening to more Broadway soundtracks, and then that just spiraled into an obsession with it. So
Yeah, there are some gems. There are some musical theater gems, let me tell you. Especially when you do deep dives, you that's one thing I found out in high school. I was like, we would start doing a musical, and then really fall in love with someone's voice, and then I'd look at other things they'd done, and I'd fall in love with that. So, yeah, musical theater repertoire is very beautiful. It's just, I don't know. There's just something about it that really, such a unique perspective on life that a lot of composers have, and the way they're translating that through song, especially people like Stephen Sondheim, Stephen Schwartz, Jason Robert Brown, Georgia Stitt, Pasek and Paul. Yeah, just pretty magical stuff.
Yeah. Yeah. So what's the best part and what's the most challenging part of live theater?
That's a good question. I've never gotten that question before. I think the best part is it's a conversation. It's a conversation that is unable to be replicated in any other space or any other art medium. So, if I say something, I'm going to know if it's funny immediately by how the audience reacts. I'm going to know how well my joke hits on a certain night rather than others. It's also always fresh because the world around us can inform conversations differently. So, a line in a musical on one night may hit completely different in a night 3 months from now, Like I think some lines in Hamilton when they open back up, I'm sure they hit a lot harder than before the pandemic because the world has since informed, a different perspective on the show and a different perspective on stories in general, and how we connect with one another. So that's what I will always love about the live theater the most, is that it is always a conversation. The conversation can change on any given day, and that no two shows will ever be the same, for better or for worse. I think what I don't like about live theater the most would probably be, I think, the work payoff. Because when you go do something like TV is obviously very accessible, and therefore, it's more generally funded because the audience is wider. But I do think that the Broadway artists, and it's because Broadway is in one central spot in one place in the entire world. But Broadway artists, I've seen them give so much. There's people hurting themselves, or people living extremely reclusive lifestyles to sustain themselves and sustain their health. And really, sometimes shows can have really long-lasting effects on people. And so I think, when so much work is being done and the payoff, is nowhere near that of other entertainment lines, I feel for my Broadway artists. But at the same time, you have to remember, this is one place in one city in one state in the entire world. So I totally understand it. And also I feel like that's just life. I feel like the better opportunities you get, the easier it is to sustain yourself. Which is a whole nother conversation, but that is my extensive answer to your wonderful question.
Oh, whoops. Yeah. So last year you released your EP Days, which I love.
Aww, I love that.
And I was wondering, what is your songwriting process like?
Oh my gosh, I love that question, and thank you for listening. I think my songwriting process is it tends to be very sporadic. I'm working on making it more of a discipline, but originally I would just write songs when they came to me. So if I was sitting down and I had an idea or a melody popped in my head, I would grab my phone or I'd grab my guitar if I'm around it, and I would start playing with chords and playing with the melody, And sometimes I'll write a full song sitting down. Sometimes I'll write half a song. Sometimes I'll write a quarter of a song and like literally never come back to it. But yeah, it has always been very feeling based. And the more I've learned about songwriters, the more I've learned that it's better to become a disciplined songwriter. It's where you're writing when you're not inspired, and you're writing just as a practice, and you're owning that craft, because that's just going to help you so much in the long run. And you're going to be able to write more music, which is going to own your skills more quickly and more sharply. And so yeah, as much as I love only writing a song when I feel like it, I feel like there's so much magic inside us than we already even know. And discipline helps us to tap into that magic, and the more that we do it, the easier it gets. And I feel like we get better at it. And so yeah, that's sort of the songwriting journey I'm on. But I think Days, every song on that EP is written just on a whim, and just like, oh, I feel like writing this, or oh, I heard this melody, or oh, I have this idea. So yeah, but thank you so much for listening. I love that so much. What's your favorite song?
I love Either Way. Yeah, there's so many I love, but now that you asked me that question, I mean, I love them all, but now that you asked me that question, every name of the songs just went right out my head. So.
Well, you got Either Way, and that's it's funny that didn't start off as a favorite, but as time has gone on, I think that's become a fan favorite. So I love that.
So, will you be releasing more music soon? And I also have to tell you, I really love your cover of Wait for It from Hamilton.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. That was a dream come true. I'm so glad you asked. Literally about a week ago, I'm working on a song right now, and I'm working on multiple songs right now, but I'm working on also a singular song that I'm really excited about. And I'm looking forward to releasing hopefully sometime soon. That's definitely the goal. But yeah, to answer your question in short, yes, and I'm really excited about it, and I can't wait to share more with you, because I think it might be my favorite song that I've dropped to date. So that's very exciting.
Oh, cool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I just when you were talking about your songwriting process, I'm not musical like in any way, but I love music, and even though I can't sing, I sing along to like your songs, and so like in the car and the shower, just
I love that. Yeah, you sing your heart out.
And I also even though I'm not musical, I do really like writing songs.
Oh, wonderful.
And, like over quarantine, there was just so much, I just had so much anxiety and about everything, and just there was a lot going on. And so I just I think I must have written 10 songs or something.
Wow.
So
yeah, that's more than I wrote in quarantine. That's impressive. And yeah, I think songwriting's such a great medium for getting your feelings out.
Yeah, afterwards I was I would always be like, wow, I feel so much better.
Yeah.
After putting this all on paper.
100%, every single time. Yeah, songwriting is definitely a great source for that.
Yeah. So you played Howie, or you play Howie in season 2 of the High School Musical series. And that show I just love, and Howie quickly became my favorite character.
I love that.
Yeah, he was I thought he was such a great addition to season 2.
Thank you.
Yeah, and do you do anything special to get into character?
No, actually, that's the wonderful thing about Howie. Aside from putting on my costume and makeup, I feel like Howie is so much a part of me and who I am naturally, that I really just got to be myself largely on screen, or sort of a more exaggerated version of myself. But that was the coolest part about playing Howie, is that he was so close to home, and I felt that way from the very first audition I ever did for that part. And yeah, I'm so glad that people connected with him. I feel like his storyline was a bit of a challenging one to make popular, with all of the worries about, does he really like Courtney, or, is it something else? And so I love, one, that you took such a liking to him. And yeah, it's there's a big part of me in that character. And so it was always a pleasure just to really feel like I could bring a lot of myself to something for the first time.
Cool. Yeah. Were you a big fan of the High School Musical movies?
I actually wasn't. I definitely watched them, and I definitely did like them when I watched them. But I think, when I look at the rest of the cast and they talk about how they were fans, they're on a totally different level than I was. I did enjoy the movies, and I really loved High School Musical 2, and I never got to really see High School Musical 3. I think I watched it one time, but I don't remember much from it. But number 1 and number 2, I mean, yeah, they were really just pivotal points in my childhood, in the sense that, like, everyone at school watched them, and we all talked about them, and they always, like, re-aired on Disney Channel. And so, yeah, it was definitely a cultural moment in time, and I think I definitely, like, rode the wave of that. But I think as far as, like, an individual fan, probably not. So I never expected to ever be involved in anything concerning High School Musical. And I even remember when I heard about the series dropping, like, they're doing a series on Disney Plus about High School Musical. I was rolling my eyes, because I was like, that sounds terrible. But I fell in love with the show. I really did. And I loved season 1, and I was like, I remember telling my agent when the audition came to me after I watched, I was like, I have to get this, like, I really want this so much. And so it was such a great experience, and I love that cast so much. They're the greatest people.
Oh, cool. Yeah, I remember when, like, I first heard about it. I think they first were talking about it, like, when I was in middle school. I remember hearing something about it. I remember everybody saying, oh no, they shouldn't be doing a High School Musical series.
Right.
And even, like, since it didn't really come out what it was specifically about. I remember I was thinking that too, but then when the first episode it aired on Disney Channel, and I watched it, and then I made my mom get Disney Plus so I could watch the rest of it.
That's awesome. I got a lot of my family members got Disney Plus to watch and keep up, and they all became fans too. And so it's a show that draws you in and then pulls you in, and you fall in love with those characters. And yeah, I'm so grateful to be a part of it. It's fantastic, especially in the middle of the pandemic. It was just great to have something to keep looking forward to.
Yeah. Oh, cool. Yeah. So you sang "If I Can't Love Her" from Beauty and the Beast in the series, and it was amazing. And I was wondering, does that song have a special meaning to you?
First of all, thank you so much. That was a real dream come true moment. And I would say now it does. When I first found out I was singing the song, it didn't have any special meaning, and I never actually had heard the song when I found out I was singing it. So I largely came to understand it the more I practiced it and rehearsed it. But now it's led a lot of people to me, and it's led a lot of people to my music and the musical side of me. And I feel like it also helps, a big goal of mine is to be seen as an artist musician, and I feel like it helps people to see me more in that way rather than just an actor. So yeah, I mean, now that song holds an extremely special place in my heart, and I'm so grateful that Tim and the show gave me a chance to do something like that, especially as a guest star in the season. And hearing people's words about the song, from the moment it dropped up until, today, it's been the most heartwarming thing I've ever heard about any song that I've gotten to do or cover or release. And so I'm so thankful. And now that song is, one of the most special pieces about my involvement with the show. And I love that so much. And it was such a pleasure to sing. It's such a beautiful arrangement. So yeah, hopefully that answers the question.
Oh, cool. Yeah. So what song always makes you want to have a dance party?
Every single song on 24 Karat Magic. Highlights are That's What I Like in Perm. If those come on, I'm dancing. Like, it's not a question. It's not a question. That is probably my favorite album to date, like, of all time. It's just so good. It's so funky. The energy's so hype. I love it.
Oh, cool.
Dance parties are so important.
Yeah, they are. Over quarantine, my family and I just randomly had dance parties.
Oh my gosh, that's the best. That's the best. Yeah. Random dance parties. Yeah, it doesn't get any better than that.
Yeah. So if you could star in any musical, past or present, which musical would it be, and which character would you want to play?
I feel so bad because I say the same answer every time, but it really is true. It's Aaron Burr in Hamilton. I think I'm currently too young to play the role, which is beyond fine for me. But yeah, that is a role that I cannot wait to tackle one day and cannot wait to play. I think that'll just be a fantastic opportunity. And it's been a role I fell in love with from the very first moment I ever heard it or saw it. Yeah, it's just so great. It's so great. It's such a great role for any musical theater man. And just talking about it just gets me excited because I know one day it'll happen. So, yeah.
Cool. Yeah. So I just have two more questions for you.
Okay.
What personality trait gets you in the most trouble?
What personality trait is? It's always been. I think talking. I won't say as much anymore. I think so. Maybe now it's punctuality. I don't know. But growing up, it was talking. Like I don't know if they still do this on report cards, but they used to have behavior grades as well as academic grades, and all the good kids got S's for satisfactory, and I always got N's for. I don't know what it was. I don't think it was negative, but I think the N meant something. I don't think the word actually began with N. That's just the letter they used. But I always was just a class clown, and I was talking so much, and I was always trying to get the last laugh, and oh my gosh, that really chased me up through middle school, and then it kind of dropped off in high school. But oh my gosh, I was just always trying to make everybody in the class laugh and be the center of attention and all that stuff. And so that used to get me in a lot of trouble. And like we were saying earlier before the interview, now I'm more of a extroverted introvert. And so I'll definitely talk a lot, but I'm also really okay with just listening and just sitting back and observing. And so nowadays, I think, probably my punctuality. Now I'm like, I gotta be on time. I gotta make sure I'm on time. I gotta make sure I'm not running late. I'm such a last minute guy. And I'm working on it. Hopefully I'm getting better. But I'm always saving everything to the last minute. And now that's what gets me in trouble. I was, believe it or not, I was the latest to work on my last day at Dear Evan Hansen. I think I was over 30 minutes late to work. And it wasn't on purpose at all, I had no intentions of being late that day because, they celebrate you on your last day on Broadway. And I was very much looking forward to the celebration. And of course I had to call in and say, hey, I don't think I'm going to make it on time. So yeah, that was a whole mess, but yeah, I'm working on it.
So my last question for you is, who do you consider to be a real life superhero and why?
A real life superhero. There's so many people. I would say a real life superhero. It's hard to pick one person. I think after this last year, I think I just have to do the frontline workers, just in general. Those, to me, I think are some of the biggest superheroes I've ever seen. To go into work every day and face something no one in this current lifetime has faced. Put your life on the line every day. People not being able to connect with their families and not being able to connect with their kids because of safety precaution, but also just because, they, you never know, you never know with COVID, if you're okay or if you are carrying it silently. And then I'm sure the amount of tests and swabs up the nose. And so it was enough for me as an actor on set to get tested that many times. But I just couldn't imagine fighting that every day and coming into work and not knowing when it'll end and sacrificing time to spend with your loved ones, especially during a time where I felt like we all got so much time to spend with our loved ones because we had to stay home. That is a true hero to me. Someone completely able to set aside themselves entirely and just be entirely selfless to help others. I feel like that is everything a hero is. And so frontline workers in general, those are my superheroes 100%. I can only imagine being so brave. So yeah, here's to all the frontline workers helping us to get back to a sense of normalcy in the world.
Yeah, I definitely agree with that. My sister and I were talking about how it was just like such a weird year last year because we remember it's like everything basically shut down overnight.
Yeah.
And so it's just we were talking about like how amazing the frontline workers are and just that it was so weird how, one day like you heard about it, but things were still somewhat normal. And then the next day, everything was shut down. You had to stay in your house, which I was like, I already did this, so it wasn't such a big deal to me.
Yeah.
But yeah.
No, it really was. I was at work and Disney shut us right down on the spot, and so it definitely came like a dream. But yeah, I mean, I hope we're getting to the other side of it soon. We had a glimmer of a light there, and now it's sort of wavering. But hopefully we're headed back in the right direction. All we can do is hope.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for calling in. Talking to you has just already made my day. So thank you.
Oh my gosh, I could totally say the same, Maya. And you asked some of the I've had a lot of interviews, respectively, I guess, and you've asked some of the best questions I've ever been asked in an interview. So insightful. So thank you.
Thank you.
Roman, thanks for your time today, man.
Thank you, Chris. Okay, you guys have a great day.
Yeah,
Bye.
you too.
You too. Bye.